Hello and welcome to the Adventure Toolkit example reel number 11. My name is Glenn Storm and I'm from Hot Iron Productions. Today we're going to look at the last of the tools from the event folder, starting with the random trigger. The random trigger is designed to take an activation or trigger and activate another object based on randomly selecting among an array that you've defined. Okay, I have 4 spheres here, red, blue, green, and white, and they're deactivated, and I would like to activate one of them randomly. Let's look at the properties in the random trigger. First is the target array, and I have 4 objects that I would like to choose from, so I've defined 4, red, blue, green, and white. Next is the selection mode. Because not all random is the same, there are different modes in which to choose. By default, it's random exhaustive, and what this means is it will pick one of the 4. Let's say it choose blue. It will then choose another one, but not the blue one. Let's say green. So now it's chosen blue and green. If chosen again, it will select between red and white because those have not yet been selected. And finally, it will choose whatever has not been selected yet. So in other words, within 4 triggers, it will choose all 4 balls, but not in an order in which you can predict. Okay. Another mode is random repeat. This simply means choose at random from the 4, and it's okay to repeat. It doesn't care what was chosen last. Random no repeat does care what was chosen immediately before. It just won't repeat it, but it can choose among the 4 otherwise. So in other words, it can choose blue. It won't choose blue again. It'll choose one of these other ones, say green. But after that, it can choose blue again. That's fine. Okay. By default, it is random exhaustive. The next property is deactivate unselected, and if this is checked, it will make sure that all of the other objects in the array are inactive. It will deactivate them. If this is unchecked, it will leave them all on. So if it was random exhaustive and you had this unchecked, within 4 clicks, all 4 balls would definitely be on. Okay. By the way, with random exhaustive, after all 4 have been chosen and you select again, it will reset and it will choose among all 4. The next property is trigger on complete, and if it is random exhaustive and if it has chosen among all of the selections in the target array, it can then trigger another object and be used as this trigger can be used as a trigger for something else. Okay, so in other words, you want to know when all 4 have been triggered? Okay, this can be used to do that. The last property is reset on trigger, and this, if checked, means that it will deactivate this object, this trigger, and get it ready for retriggering immediately, so you can use it over and over again. And we have that checked here because I want to show what random exhaustive is going to do. Let's go ahead, let's hit play. Let's trigger the random trigger and see which one comes up. Okay, the green one. Because it's random exhaustive, it's going to choose a different one, blue. Now we've already chosen green and blue, and it's going to either choose white or red. This time it's white, and then red, for sure. And if I keep going, it's going to cycle and just reorder the ones that it's chosen, because this is random exhaustive. Just to show what random no repeat would look like, I'm going to click it multiple times, but it is not going to repeat the same selection. Okay. And then random repeat will allow it to repeat a selection. So I just clicked it twice and it selected white twice. Okay. That's the random trigger. The last one we need to look at in the event folder is the script trigger. The script trigger is designed to call methods on custom scripts that are attached to objects in your scene. In other words, you can call back from your trigger system to a custom script, and programmers will immediately recognize that this is a powerful callback method, a callback loop to your custom script. Okay. In this case, I've got a object with a custom script on it, a simple one that I've made called demo script, and it has a single custom method on it. Method also is you can also think of it like a function, because functions are methods. It does have to be a public method in order for this to work. Okay, the custom one I have here is called myMethod, and all it really does is log a string to our console that says, this is my method logging a string. Alright. The script trigger has a number of properties we need to look at. First is the receiver object. This is the object with that custom script on it that it needs to call. In this case, it's the script object. The next property is the method to call, and this is the name of the method on that script. So it's my method here. Notice that I did not put parentheses here because you don't want to do that, even though that's what is indicated here in code to make sure that C# knows that this is a function. Okay. The next property is value to pass, because you can pass values along with your method. So I can pass a single boolean or a string or an integer, and I can type that in here because the next property is the value type, and then I can select which type of data that is that I'm passing to my method. Okay. The next property is relay on activate, and if this is checked, this script trigger will fire and call my method once this tool is activated. That is what we want to do in this case, so I'm going to go ahead and check it. If it's unchecked, it assumes then that there's a collider component on this object, and instead of waiting for activation, it's going to wait for a collider event before calling my method. Okay, but I am going to activate it. The next property is relay delay, and if relay on activate is checked, this is the number of seconds it will wait before actually calling my method from the time this tool is activated. I've got it set to a half-second delay. The next property is valid collider. If relay on activate is unchecked, and if you have a collider component on this object, but you'd rather not have my method called unless it's a particular collider that's colliding with it, say the player character's collider, then you want to put the game object reference for that object here. Okay. In this case, I am going to fire it manually. The next property is use fix update. If you would like this tool to run on the same schedule, the same sync that rigid body physics is being used, then check this box. For most cases, you can leave this unchecked, and it will update every frame. The last property is reset on trigger, and if this is checked, then it will deactivate this trigger once the method has been called and get it ready to be called again. Okay, let's hit play, and let's keep an eye at the bottom line here where our console is showing the last line, and I will fire the script trigger, and we see it says, this is my method logging a string. We've successfully called a custom script with our script trigger. Okay, that's the script trigger. That's all of the tools in the event folder. And that's all the time we have for this video. Please stay tuned for the next video where we go over tools from the interaction folder.